Hello everyone, Braden here, and today I thought we'd talk about two of the new pieces of lost media that recently became found. Actually, two of the pieces that I talked about in my two most recent videos. Now, one thing you have to know about my channel is that, as a general rule, I don't really talk about found media unless it's a piece of lost media that I've covered before. And so the fact that two pieces of lost media that I covered became found relatively recently after I covered them is kind of a big deal. And this is only compounded by the fact that I mostly stick to obscure pieces of lost media that aren't very big searches. So I'm doing this video now because it might be the only opportunity I have to talk about two specific pieces of lost media I've talked about that became found. Or let me rephrase that, this is the only opportunity I have to do that and stay current. So here we go, this is going to be a relatively unscripted video. I'm just going to ramble about these pieces of found media and talk about my thoughts on them, essentially. So yeah, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about Mario Kart XXL. It was actually found about 6 days after I talked about it in that video, which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Like, I know I didn't have anything to do with the actual game being found, but I feel like I did. You know, even in the lost media community, I'm pretty much one of the smaller channels out there. I mean, I get, you know, a decent amount of views, but it's nothing compared to like the big creators in the lost media community. So I don't really have much influence. I just think it was a nice coincidence that it got found right after I talked about it. And you know, it's kind of what we expected, because I mean, we had a pretty good video of it, but the ROM has actually been dumped online, so you can go play the demo if you really want to. I believe it was sort of based around one of Daenerys' other racing games that they made, and actually the XXL subtitle, I believe, came from one of their racing games. I forget the title of it. I'll put a picture of the cover on screen. But yeah, and it's essentially a glorified tech demo. It's just Peach Circuit from Mario Kart Super Circuit, and you can move Mario around. There's no other racers, you can't collect coins, there's no items. You just drive laps around that same track, and there's music from one of Daenerys' other games playing in the background. And and I believe it was, I said in the video that Nintendo commissioned Daenerys Entertainment, and I believe Daenerys only took that commission because they were a dying company. So, moving on from that, because I've actually got a lot more thoughts on this next piece of found media, and it's the SpongeBob Got Milk commercial. Now, this is one that I was kind of expecting to be found at some point, just because that one screenshot that was available, it wasn't like a production screenshot. It was a screenshot of a VHS recording, meaning whoever had that screenshot most likely had the whole recording the whole time. And maybe I'm wrong about that, maybe it came from somewhere else, but it's hard for me to believe that someone had a screenshot of a VHS recording that didn't have the whole recording in their possession. And so this was found, I believe, the day before Mario Kart XXL, but it was still a few weeks after I made, I believe it was episode 20 of Intriguing Lost Media. And this was one that I was, if I had to pick a piece of lost media for my videos to be found, I expected this one to be found most recently, just because it's a commercial, it's SpongeBob, and for some reason the lost media community really takes like the SpongeBob searches very seriously. I mean, because it's a popular show. I mean, let's be honest. And I'll tell you what jumps out at me is that it's from 2001, which maybe that was already known. I can't remember, but it shocks me just based on the animation style, because it definitely looks like the SpongeBob season 4 animation style and art style, and just the character designs. It doesn't look like season 2 or 3, which is what would have been airing in 2001. So that was kind of a shock to me. Like, this is way older than I thought it was. I had this idea that it was like from 2004 or 2005 or whatever, but it's very interesting that this got found, but it's not surprising to me like Mario Kart XXL was. Like, that was one that I had very little faith would ever be found, because, you know, there always was the thought that it might have been dumped online, but, you know, I don't know. Some people are very picky with those, like, you know, trying to get, like, Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill was like pulling teeth, and, you know, some of these are just, they're found easier than others, and they're found in more unexpected ways. Like, I wonder how many commercials are lost that don't really get any attention from the lost media community, and people don't even know they're lost just because, you know, they don't have recognizable characters like SpongeBob in them. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on these two pieces of found media. I hope you guys like this unscripted style. I'm very bad at talking unscripted, so don't expect many videos like this. But, yeah, thanks for watching, and have a good one.